Right, so we have a bit of a different setup today, and that's because it's been 3 weeks since I got the Apple TV 4K. So of course, for those wondering, let's delve into my thoughts regarding this product. Since I am a first-time tvOS user, and for the most part, Apple's kinda proved me wrong, because for the longest time, I've always thought the Apple TV was overrated, it was overpriced, it did not make sense, but now after owning it, I can appreciate the benefits of it. And yeah, I'm definitely keeping mine because it's a very worthy addition to my ecosystem. So let's first talk about the design, not the design of the box, because I know there's some wanting a redesign for the box, but I couldn't care less about that. You are not going to be seeing the box on a daily basis. It's going to be behind your TV for the most part, so I don't care about the design of the box. I do, however, care about the design of the remote, and I have a few thoughts. So on the whole, I do like this remote. It feels very premium, and of course the buttons are very clicky. That's very nice. However, I will say the size of the remote is a little too small for my liking, because I'm used to bigger remotes, and so this being this small does mean it does get lost pretty often around the house. And well, Apple could have easily solved this by giving us Find My Tech within the actual remote. Basically putting an AirTag in this would have fixed my issues, but no, for some reason we don't have that. It's a huge oversight, and as a result, this does get lost pretty easily. Also, for those with younger siblings or kids, I do want to say the small size of this and the slippery nature of the aluminium material is not great, because if this falls out of your hand, it's going to dent the aluminium, and of course replacing this is pretty expensive. And so that's why I got a case for it, because it does add some bulk to the remote, so it's easy to find, and it also does protect the remote. So yeah, mostly positive about the remote, just wish it was grippier, and of course it had Find My Tech built in. Right, so let's now talk about the tvOS experience, and the first thing that comes to my mind is speed. I am speed. Jokes aside, yeah, that's really the best part about tvOS. Like iOS and iPadOS, it's super fluid, and it's refreshing because with my Samsung TV it took a full minute for apps to load, but on this, it's instant. So yeah, that's one thing that makes this purchase worth it. It's super fast and should remain fast because of the A15 chip. It's overpowered for a box, but that's a good thing because it should give you years of support and years of good performance. Now moving on to the home screen, I like the simplicity of it because everything is just laid out for you to access, and you can rearrange things by long pressing on the application, so that's pretty nice. And yeah, overall it's very easy to use. And another thing I've appreciated is the lack of ads, because again, with my Samsung TV there were occasional ads for Galaxy products which were awful, so the lack of this with the tvOS experience is really nice. However, I've got to be fair, and I do have to mention that now with the Apple TV app, there is a featured column that basically promotes Apple TV Plus content. I'm not a fan of that, but at the same time, I don't use the Apple TV app very often, so the lack of ads on the actual home screen of the device, yeah, that's appreciated. Now moving on to the app situation, immediately I was impressed because we use Now TV for sports, and that was not supported on our older Samsung TV, but it's here on tvOS. That's pretty great. And yeah, overall I do like the performance and the quality of apps on tvOS. They all feel polished on tvOS, which is pretty great. However, not everything's perfect, because as a UK resident, I do use BBC iPlayer to of course watch BBC content, and I've noticed subtitles don't work. So yeah, with my Samsung TV, subtitles worked perfectly fine, but for some reason on tvOS, if I open the app and turn on subtitles, so it's on, and now let's play the content. Hopefully no copyright strike, but yeah, look, you can see he's talking, but there's no subtitles, even though I have it on. And yeah, that's pretty odd. I did do some research regarding this, and the BBC developers said they've acknowledged this issue and they're fixing it, but this was published 5 years ago. So yeah, clearly tvOS is not a priority for them, and that sucks. And it is kinda Apple's fault, because the whole reason tvOS is not as popular as other devices is the high barrier to entry cost. and so it's partially Apple's fault. Developers have neglected tvOS. Now, I do want to reiterate, popular apps have been fine. So for example, Netflix, I used to have issues with that on my Samsung TV, but there's been no bugs. It's been perfect on Apple TV, which is great. However, there is a strong possibility that for more niche, region-specific apps, there may be issues due to the lack of popularity tvOS has. So yeah, do bear that in mind. But overall, guys, I do think apps on tvOS are a lot better than other platforms. Now, moving on to the Apple ecosystem benefits, this is something I love about tvOS because it is very clutch to be able to AirPlay content to the TV directly from your iPhone or your iPad, which I'll show you guys right now. It's a very simple process. Let me just do it. Voila, there we go. I'm AirPlaying right now. I can basically access all my apps and it'll be mirrored to the iPhone. So yeah, this is clutch. I've had no issues with the AirPlay experience. So yeah, I really like this. Now, another feature I've loved is using AirPods with Apple TV because if I'm watching a movie at night, I can now no longer disturb my family and just watch the movies with my AirPods. They connect very seamlessly to the Apple TV. Now, another clutch feature is the ability to type things out on your iPhone. So for example, if I'm searching something on YouTube, okay, so for searching something, I can now, well, I'll get a pop-up on my iPhone first, as you can see. Click on that and boom, I can just search for things directly from my iPhone. That is super clutch. I will say though, the remote on the iPhone for some reason does not have volume controls. Maybe it's a limitation with my TV, but I don't understand why the virtual remote does not have the most crucial parts of a remote, which are volume controls. But apart from that, I like how there is a remote you can access on all your devices. Now, moving on to dictation with the remote, there has been some issues. For one, Siri is kind of dumb in the first place, but she's also very limited. For example, show me subscriptions on YouTube. And it takes me to search instead, not the subscriptions I want, which are clearly the channels I've subscribed to. So yeah, there are limitations. Also, when I'm searching things and I'm trying to use voice search, Siri butts in for no reason. And yeah, that's quite annoying. And yeah, honestly, I'm glad I can use my iPhone instead for the keyboards, because using a voice with the remote kind of sucks. Now, I do also want to mention the trackpad has been a hit and a miss. I do like scrolling through content and apps on the home screen. That's very nice with the trackpad. However, when using specific apps like YouTube, I do find the trackpad a bit of a mess. As you can see, I'm trying to scroll down and try and find other videos. It does not do that, which is pretty odd. But yeah, on the whole, guys, I have to be honest, this is still a massive upgrade over any other TV box or TV operating system I've used, and I'm on the whole very happy with it. Now, I also want to mention my brother has been playing Football Manager via Apple Arcades. He says there's been some performance issues, but it's overall pretty good, and I'm seeing the potential of Apple TV as a game console now, because if Apple gets the right games and the titles people want, this Apple TV could be a somewhat affordable gaming console because it has the performance, it has a good price, and if it has the games people want, then people could actually buy this for gaming. I will say though, there has been some Bluetooth issues with the controllers. I wish that was more seamless. In fact, an Apple controller that's optimized for the TV would be great. But yeah, apart from that, I'm seeing the potential of Apple Arcade. So yeah, that's basically everything, guys. Overall, very happy with it. Obviously, I'm a noob when it comes to Apple TV, so tell me your tips and tricks in the comments. And on that note, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumors. Check out the video in the link above on details regarding Apple's VR headsets. And on that note, see ya, peeps.